Jefferson at 3-1. Both these teams suffering their first losses of the year at the Iolani Classic. And right out of the gate, we have a goaltending call against Klocek.
It's going to be important for Klocek and pin zone to get going here. We saw a lot of Curbelo yesterday, but in the win the other night, it was Klocek and pin zone, and off the bench, Jaden Reed doing a lot of damage.
Curbelo, the runner, after what was a tremendous effort last night, scoring a game-high 24 points. He evens the game at 2. Cook, the freshman. And a rebound for Traore. Curbelo turns, leans, and scores. A pretty play.
So smooth, so consistent over the course of this entire tournament. Talked about it last night, him being a magician. He just finds ways to get to the rim, even though it seems like nothing's there.
Washington leans, misses off the side of the backboard, and they'll get it up ahead for Curbelo with space. What a start for Curbelo. He's got all 6 of Long Island Lutheran's points.
He makes it look so smooth, so easy.
Williams flying in. He's fouled by Klocek. That will stop what was a really nice run the last few possessions from Andre Curbelo. That will send Trajan Williams to the line.
He is incredibly effective in transition. When you have an open floor for a guy that's that crafty, who has incredible vision, there's too many options to guard. If he doesn't get to the rim, he's going to kick it out to one of the shooters, or he's going to find some way to help his team on offense.
1 of 2 for Trajan Williams, and it's 6-3 Crusaders. Can't get free off the screen, can Bergstrom, but Klocek, who's been in the starting lineup now for the last 3 games, loses the dribble. Rollins Kibonge starts the takeaway drive, but Bergstrom can't complete the turnover. Tough take, Robinson. Can't finish. Loose ball to Williams. Another touch for Cameron Robinson. Turns and is fouled by Traore.
Robinson on the block, so physical. We've seen that over the last few days. It's not pretty, but it's effective, and he keeps working until he gets a great opportunity or can go to the line.
If you've been watching the Iolani Classic all week, you might notice that Cameron Robinson is wearing a different number. He had been wearing 5 all week, now wearing 22. Leading Jefferson in scoring, 17.7 a night here in the Classic. But misses that free throw. Robinson's asking, why didn't I get 2 free throws? And now they figured out it was a 2-shot foul.
Yeah, he was quick to do that, but he was like, wait a minute, I have to get back on defense in case they don't give this to me. But I worked for that. I earned those 2 free throws. Give me them both.
Along with that, they have to change the clock. And they're going to add 3 seconds to 6:12. One more for Cliff Robinson's nephew. Rebound, Traore. Curbelo. Nice handoff underneath. Traore lips out. And he's blocked on the second chance. It's going to be a held ball. The arrow keeps it with the Crusaders.
Curbelo got to the rim for the first 6 points of the game and then got to the rim again, but decided to dish that off. Again, keeps his options open with his head up and always probing, always looking for something great.
And it's not necessarily his speed. I think your point is very clear. Offensive foul against pin zone. The point being that he knows when to turn it on, knows when to make the move left or right. It's the headiness that makes up for maybe the speed he might not have.
Yeah, an incredible pace. Just has options every time. He can go left, he can go right. He's never too fast.
Rollins Kibonge, the hardened step back in the score.
Rollins Kibonge, sneaky. Has that big body, had some monster blocks over the course of this tournament, but then that smooth step back for the 16-footer.
10 points last night. And the Democrats are within 1. Curbelo. Boy, what a move. He's got all 8 of the Crusaders' points.
I have a feeling we're going to run out of adjectives for Curbelo.
Nice find. Robinson is stuffed by Traore. And a 4-on-2, 5-on-3 ahead. Bergstrom. Defense turns to offense.
Traore should get some kind of assist for that. The fact that that only comes up as a block in the stat sheet it's a shame.
Robinson challenged by Clawcheck, but still puts it in around him. There's a fearlessness about Cameron Robinson that makes him such a fun individual to watch.
Yeah, that was a classic Robinson bucket.
No look to Bergstrom. Can't get 2 in a row. There's Robinson's board.
You cannot leave Bergstrom there alone by himself in that corner. That first one was clean, and you might as well just give him the 3.
Short from Rollins Kibonge. Clawcheck slows ahead. Can't leave Pinzone open.
Yeah, there's Pinzone.
Just 5 points last night for the junior guard. They'd love for him to find himself a little more in the zone against Jefferson tonight. 7-point lead as Cook finds Washington. Williams with 6. Saved in bounds. 2 on the shot clock. They got to get it off. Cook can't. Shot won't count.
Shot clock recognition, time and score, awareness of what's going on out there is really important. You lose a possession, you lose an opportunity when you're not aware of what's on the shot clock at that time.
3:30 to go first quarter. Curbelo, he'll just take it himself from distance. Clawcheck the board. Drops it home with his left hand.
Zed Key into the game for Long Island Lutheran. The big body in there, replacing Traore.
An interesting lineup with Clawcheck and Key on the floor. Clawcheck replaced Key in the starting lineup the last 3 games. We've got a foul away from the ball. And that will go against Jaden Reed, who also entered the game for the first time. Jefferson's going to use a 30-second timeout. With 3:03 remaining in the quarter and a 9-point Long Island Lutheran lead. We were talking earlier on in the 5th place game as we reminisce about this 2019 Iolani Classic. What's been your favorite memory of the Classic this year?
Well, we're watching one of my favorite memories. I'll remember Curbelo for a long time. I mean, he's been so consistent over the course of this tournament. There's not been lapses, and the pace that he plays, I guess he plays at such a smooth pace, you know, but it doesn't ever look like he's conserving. You know, he's hustling, he's getting back, but he doesn't get tired, and he creates so much offense. And it's not just the scoring, it's not just getting to the rim. He's easily the assist leader here in this tournament, and he wills this team along. That early preseason ranking in the top 20 is very much to do with him.
Does he remind you of another guard you've seen?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to think about that.
Curbelo will handle the basketball while you think about it. Finds Zed Key. Love this matchup against Robinson. Misses. Cook the rebound. He looks like Lonzo Ball, but I think he plays a very different style, obviously, as Lamar Washington hits the 3.
Yeah, he does have that kind of look. Of recent history in the Iolani Classic, I mean, the floor general type feel, Kihei Clark was that guy.
Clawcheck underneath.
In the Iolani Classic, who helped lead the Virginia Cavaliers to a national championship as a freshman.
Robinson gave him a step, he takes the 3.
Doing it from the inside, doing it from the outside. A lot prettier, a lot easier than the banging.
Curbelo, tough angle, way off the mark. And it will stay, I believe, with Long Island Lutheran. Is good sportsmanship by Curbelo. There will be a foul, and that will go against Rollins Kibonge. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a guard that he reminds me of, and I'm having a really hard time doing so.
Yeah, he's productive in so many different ways. Someone was mentioning it earlier in the tournament that Chris Chiozza, who went to Florida and who was also an Iolani Classic alum, really, there's some resemblance there with Curbelo's game.
Key this time matched up against Rollins Kibonge and finds Pinzone. This is the little teardrop in the lane. Washington stumbles, just underhands it back out. It'll be Long Island Lutheran ball. As you see, John Buck, the Long Island Lutheran coach. One of the more energetic coaches we have here in the Classic this year.
Yeah, he may be as exhausted after a game or after this tournament as any one of his players.
Traore back in, gives it back to Curbelo. What a take. And he got hit on the head. That's going to go against Jalen Adams.
Any hole he finds. Just the smallest opening, and he can squeeze his way through and get off some type of shot. One-legged runner on that one, looking for the board. Shot floaters earlier.
The reason why I'm having a hard time thinking about a guard like Curbelo, a lot of the guards that I think have similar types to them race. They race up the floor. They kind of play with one speed. I'm having a hard time finding a guard that can play. You know, you can put them in third gear, and then you could turn up the RPMs with them. I don't know that I know a guard like that, to be honest. That goes out of bounds to Long Island Lutheran.
Yeah, nowadays you get a lot of specialist type guards. You know, you have the scoring guards, the quick ones, the ones that get to the hole, or they're just playmakers and wide open kick shooters. You don't get a lot of these guys who are just so versatile.
Inside to Key, and he traveled. Good look. Key just wasn't really set underneath.
You look at Zed Key and Rollins Kibonge, and you forget that these guys are in high school. Look at their bodies. Look at their physique. This is not a high... I don't remember anyone, much less myself, looking anywhere near like that at the high school level at 17, 18 years old.
Offensive foul and a legal screen will go against Marquis Cook. When I think of similarities, I'm not sure why, but I think of Zed Key as more a big man's version of an Evan Turner in the Big Ten. I mean, Turner with a little more of an outside game, but Key's capable of a mid-range look. Traore is stuffed at the rim by Cook.
That was Cook, the freshman. That wasn't a big. That was the guy that's initiating the offense with that block.
Shot clock is off. Curbelo loses it. Traore trying to come up with it. Throws it out to Key. He loses it. Time winding down for Adams. Can't hit. We knew we'd get a good first quarter. Scoreboard indicates that. It's 19-13. Long Island Lutheran after the first 8 minutes. It's the 2019 Iolani Classic on BallerTV. Underway here in the second quarter. It is 19-13. Long Island Lutheran leading Jefferson as we play for third place here in Honolulu. Tracked down by Jalen Adams. Washington will take it right of the lane and scores.
Washington shot a lot of three-pointers yesterday, almost settled for some of those. It's nice to see him get to the rim and use that big body to score.
Lamar Washington with 5 points. Traore, hard drive to the rim and stuffs that one in right around Cook.
You could see the intensity and the strength when he decided to go to the rack. He knew he was going hard and rose up and finished that with authority.
Key guarding out in the perimeter. Cameron Robinson lost it out of his hands. Saved in bounds, but thrown out of bounds. Curbelo was trying to hang on, it seemed, for dear life at the baseline.
Smart on both ends of the floor. He knew he was outsized there, was getting back down, but as soon as Robinson put the ball in his range, it was gone.
Leading scorers, Curbelo for Long Island Lutheran, 9 points. Lamar Washington, Cameron Robinson each with 5. For the Democrats from Portland, Oregon. The lob deflected, knocked out by Bergstrom. They're trying to get it into Robinson. .6:54 to go in the half. It's a tough place to inbound right there near that corner, and Key and Robinson trying to battle for position, and Curbelo showing good leadership here, talking with his big man. Robinson. What's the call? It's going to go against Key. There's not much more you can do there.
Yeah, no, those are such tough calls. I mean, it really looks like Robinson is initiating the contact and Key is holding his ground, but it's almost like you have to call something in that scenario. But wow, tough scenario for the referee.
Ball comes free, but taken back by Williams. Shot clock to 10. Robinson almost out of control. Cook is blocked by Key. Good help by Traore as well. Curbelo underneath, and Key the stuff.
Look at the dime, the vision. The beautiful bounce pass right through, clean.
Washington maybe got away with a double dribble. Now he'll try for 3. And guess who? Curbelo on the rebound. The outlet to Key. He stepped out of bounds. No whistle. Bergstrom into Traore. Key literally had a foot out of bounds. They let it go. And Long Island Lutheran extends its lead to 10.
Yeah, tough call to understand there. If he gets his 2 feet back in the court and establishes himself as a part of the court, that play is good. And Tom Yoshida, a veteran official, knows the rules better than anyone.
Adams for 3. A lot of these shots a bit short here for the Democrats as Curbelo surveys the floor. Takes it himself and drops it in.
Curbelo, the magician, pulled that one out of the hat, tossed it up, floated it up. Steph Curry-like in that scenario.
Someone was is listening to us and threw out their idea of who they could compare Curbelo to. Familiar name, Derek Lowe.
Yeah, Derek played at a very similar pace, and he had that sneaky athleticism, so I understand the comparison. In recent times, I don't know if people have seen Nico Mannion. He has been a star there now in Arizona and expected to leave, and be a high pick in the NBA, but that playmaker type guy. And when you look at the NBA, I think the NBA now has so many specialists, right? And we talked about that a little earlier, and there's a little bit of that Tony Parker craftiness to his game. You see that in there, but some vision like the old school guards of the past. So yeah, it's been hard to pin down the one guy. that he really, I guess, embodies. But it'll probably come to me later at some point. At some point at night, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, that's the guy." But man, he does so much. He does so much. So yeah, you know, I mean, and again, making that Steph Curry reference a little earlier, that little toss-up, the different floaters, the variety of shots.
So far, he's got 11 of Long Island Lutheran's 27. The only player in double figures so far is 27-15. Lead for the Crusaders. Keyshawn Hall. Robinson trying to back his way in, and he and Curbelo chat with one another, and Robinson will get the technical foul.
Yeah, Robinson needs to keep his head there. Curbelo was trying to swat the ball away as he did the last time, and maybe a bit of frustration. Sees the size advantage and feels as though he should finish that one, and got it stripped and got in his face a little too much. So nice job by referee Will Pachalski of controlling this game.
The foul to Curbelo, as you alluded to, for trying to reach in there, and Cameron Robinson indeed gets the technical. And one more for Hugo Bergstrom at the line. It's 29-15. Bergstrom kind of silent but deadly when he's got an opportunity to hit from outside. You've seen him hit a three early. Curbelo gets the basketball back. Finds Key, but it's ripped out, and it goes to Jefferson. See Oak Hill coming into the gym, getting ready for their matchup at 8. Rollins Kibonge. Cook stumbled. Difficult shot, no good. Now Rollins Kibonge for 3. Off the right side of the rim. That shot just has not dropped as of late. Jefferson's hit a couple of threes. They've made 16 in this tournament. Traore inside for Key. Around and out. Long Island Lutheran's had some good looks. Some of them have been dropping as of late. Cook deep. And Bergstrom keeps the ball in play. Curbelo picking up the pace and Pinzone off the front iron, and a loose ball foul will go against Traore. That's number 2 on him.
We saw this a little bit yesterday with Jefferson, where they started settling for three-point shots or longer shots and jumpers, and it's not as though they can't hit them. But sometimes when you see them not falling, you want to get to the rim, and they have big bodies. They have athleticism. Robinson, Rollins Kibonge, Washington, Cook. There's some advantages there that I feel they can exploit and maybe get better shots.
Front end of the 1-and-1 good. Zedke played the role of the official there for a moment, giving the ball back to Cook himself. Two of 2 from the line. Cook was 5 of 7 from the charity stripe last night. Curbelo hard drive. What an angle. And he's able to drop it in.
Every shot, every angle, off-legged, one hand, using the board, full speed, still gets it to drop.
Illinois is going to get a good one. When he plays for the Fighting Illini next year. In the corner, Adams. And that's taken away. Curbelo with trailers behind him between the legs. And Key will flush it down.
A little bit of showtime. to go along with that productivity. Key with the finish.
Hall trying to get crafty with the dribble. Rollins Kibonge driving on Key. Swatted by Key. And they get it ahead of Bergstrom. And he loses it out of bounds. Adams is right there to force the turnover.
Long Island Lutheran, Coach John Buck, with a nice rotation of bigs. You see Klacek, Triari, and Zed Key taking turns with that two big lineup, and that's a tough guard. I mean, those guys all bring different things. You get used to being with Klacek on the perimeter, and then you have Zed Key coming in and pounding the paint. Triari, athletic.
Rollins Kibonge spins out of control. Curbelo's got another rebound. And a 5-on-3. But a little sloppy.
They're so deadly in transition. You give them an open floor and Curbelo room to work, it almost feels like it's on automatic bucket. Or you're going to at least get a great shot somehow, whether it's Curbelo looking for it or he's kicking it to Bergstrom or hitting a trailer in Zed Key.
Just about 2 minutes to go in the half. Jefferson trailing by 16. Hall can't get that to drop. Traore the rebound. And a 4-on-2 for Long Island Lutheran. No look, Klacek can't handle. Bergstrom thought about it. And he gives it up to Traore. He got hit on the arm.
Long Island, yeah, moved the ball well on that possession. Nearly every guy touched it, but found a better opportunity. Call that foul down, not quite shooting.
Oh, you're right. I thought they would give him credit for that. It will be Long Island Lutheran ball. Coach Buck, a graduate of Wake Forest. Curbelo. Nice look inside. Traore stuffs it home.
Can't fall asleep. No play is over. Eyes always up, always probing, seeing things that no one else sees.
Tough take, Robinson. It drops home.
There you go. You see Cameron Robinson right to the block, right inside, using his body, not settling. He's the worker. He's the banger.
Traore cut off and it stepped on the baseline. We were talking about John Buck, an energetic coach. We mentioned him a Wake Forest grad. He's also the head of school at Long Island Lutheran.
I have no idea how he can do all that. I mean, this is not a slouch team. This is a nationally ranked team. He has to coach that team and then run the school.
And it's almost like he just graduated from college. He looks as young as anybody in that position. Blocking foul going to be called on Traore. So
if his work ethic matches his demeanor on the sideline, it's no surprise. I mean, this guy seems to have endless energy, and I'm sure he transfers that over to his administrative role with the school.
You can find him on Twitter, by the way, if you want to, at Coach John Buck. Since everybody's on Twitter nowadays. Cameron Robinson will shoot 1-1. 41 seconds in the half, and Jefferson really needing to make a little bit of a dent going into the locker room. There's Oak Hill getting ready for the 8 o'clock tip against Wasatch Academy in the championship of the 2019 Iolani Classic, taking in the team they beat last night. It's a nationally ranked team in Long Island Lutheran. 35-21. About a 10-second difference, game and shot clock. Paul Jordan is in the game for Long Island Lutheran for the first time. Cameron Robinson's going to be called for a hold on the back of Key. I like the way Tom Yoshida described it. The arm grabbing him right around the shoulder.
Those two guys are battling in there, Zedke and Robinson, bodies banging against each other, both aggressive, not giving up any ground.
They call an offensive play. Curbelo, that same side swiping angle to the hole, and then comes up with a steal and goes reverse. And the crowd loves it. Floating two, no good. And that's going to be the end of the half. And why not Andre Curbelo to be the one to take us into the locker room?
Curbelo, the magician. You saw him. He may have been off the screen on that, but he was sneaking. He's hiding. He got that running hook to go, and then he kind of ducked in there.
He does everything.
Oh, and then he slid right in. You know, nobody saw him, thought he was out of the play. Always thinking, always looking, always finding an opportunity somehow, some way, out of nowhere.
The sign of a great point guard. Curbelo takes 17 points into the locker room, 39-21. Long Island Lutheran at the half. We've got highlights from the 2019 Iolani Slam Dunk Competition, which was presented by Alakai Executive Search. It was a fun one. Enjoy them. Democrats out from Portland, Oregon, come back out of the locker room, as you see right there in the front row, a man who a lot of people know well here at the Iolani Classic and who has the team award named after him. That's Ray Wong.
Ray Wong, an Iolani graduate. And why is Ray Wong here? Before we had these great sponsors, before Nike was involved with this tournament, and in a lot of the thin years, Ray Wong was keeping this tournament alive. He's been very successful in business and shared that success with the Iolani Classic and kept it around with Glenn Young. They had a great relationship, and he kept this tournament going. And 35, 36 years later, it's still around, very much in part to Ray Wong.
I know, a lot of people have talked about the great relationship that the Iolani Classic has with Nike, but I think it's a great point that we highlight Ray Wong because there is a lot right here at home that is so instrumental, along with the big name of Nike, who's done such wonders for this classic. Guys like Ray Wong and others that have here at home made the Iolani Classic really what it is that's going to drop for Marquis Cook, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, Ray Wong, Glenn Young, obviously the tournament founder, did so much to create this tournament and together keep it alive. Tony Dorado at Nike has really done a great job putting these teams and bringing these teams out here and getting them excited about the Iolani Classic. And it's not an easy thing to get out here. I mean, it's a long way, but these teams make it, and I think they have an incredible experience.
Claw check, stopped at the rim. Nice help by Cameron Robinson. Key from 17 feet. And Robinson working hard, gets the rebound.
We were talking about comparisons for Curbelo. I still haven't found the perfect one, but in looking at Zedke there, who took that jumper, he reminds me of Jahlil Okafor.
Oh.
He has that same type of body build. He can pound inside, and he does step out to about 18 feet and can knock down that jumper, especially now in the NBA game. But he does have that little bit of that old school game where you want to get inside, you want to pound, you want to use your size to your advantage 3 feet from the basket.
Cameron Robinson misses the first free throw. The foul was the second on Andre Curbelo. And so far, a positive start for Jefferson starting the second half, seeing the aggressiveness going right to the rim. One of two from the line. Jefferson this week at the Iolani Classic entered going 56.9% from the free throw line. 79 attempts in 3 games, which is an awful lot. Key and one.
There's Key in the key, doing work right around the basket. That basket was made by the seal and the post-entry find. He doesn't get that easy of a bucket, that and one opportunity without making that space for himself, carving that out in there.
Lead back to 20 early in the third quarter. Here's the freshman Cook. Tough square up on Curbelo, who held his ground playing with 2 fouls. Extra pass Bergstrom. His second three.
That spot all day, squared up with no one coming at him, and he is going to make that at a much higher percentage than any other shot on the court.
Robinson got claw check in the air off of the dribble and jump stop. Gets the basket. Curbelo circling around. Claw check. Key the offensive board. And got that one in a tough angle near the baseline.
There he is again, Zed Key, working in the paint.
The lob for Cook. Somehow got by Pinzone. Good fake, Rollins Kibonge. His last few threes have been short. Curbelo will try one. Can't bank it in. Key wants it inside, they can't get it there. Claw check, blocking foul on Rollins Kibonge.
Valiant attempt there to try and draw the charge, but didn't get his feet there. Sold it best he could, but at the end of the day, he didn't have all the technical pieces to draw that charge.
Andre Curbelo leads all scorers, 17 points for Long Island Lutheran. Cameron Robinson has 12 for Jefferson, 3 of 6 from the foul line. The Democrats are 6 of 11 from the foul line in this game. Pinzone stays in bounds. Curbelo wanting movement. Splits 2. What a behind the back pass, but Key I don't think was ready for it. Shot clock winding down. Bergstrom fires. Air ball. They'll let play keep going though. And Robinson stepped on the sideline.
Washington really quiet today. Really quiet. And they need him to be productive somewhere on the floor, whether he's hitting threes or he's getting to the rim using that body. But he's been the guy that's been passing, trying to initiate offense just a little bit for this Jefferson team. But I think they're going to need point production out of him as this season goes along.
Claw check. Turns on Cook, but misses. And we get a foul. That goes against Zed Key. I was mentioning free throws. Jefferson, a 56.9% free throw shooting team in the Classic. Long Island Lutheran, not much better, 58.1% in their first 3 games. They haven't gone there often today, but they're 4 of 5.
Yeah, that Long Island Lutheran number is a little skewed by the 1 for 11 effort by Zed Key on day 1. And he came right back the next day and shot a much higher percentage.
Knocked away by Bergstrom. Curbelo thought he got bumped, then made the mistake of throwing it out of bounds, gives it back to Jefferson.
Curbelo saw the numbers there. He saw 3 Jefferson Democrats up in the backcourt, so he knew that if he got it out, he tried to get it out as quick as he could, took that bump, knowing that there would be a great advantage if he got that up the court into the front court.
Cook, that's deep, but that's also short. That's been kind of the theme from long range for Jefferson today. A lot of things left short. Bergstrom around and out. Pinzone in midair, drops it back in.
Pinzone with that quiet productivity for Long Island Lutheran.
Miscommunication with Williams on the pass. Curbelo behind the back dribble and one. I would make the argument that if they weren't playing for third place, I could make a case for Curbelo being the most valuable player. Realizing, and I understand you've got Oak Hill playing in the championship.
No, I mean, he's been incredible. I mean, productive, consistent. I'll remember his performance. I'll remember his game. I'll be following him as he moves along with his career.
Lead is 28. I know some people are going to say, well, Cam Thomas has scored 30 in each of the games he's played here in the Iolani Classic, and that is true.
The Iolani Classic does give out 2 awards. One's the most valuable player, and then the most outstanding player. And I don't know that we have firm definitions of those, but just by the words, right? The value to his team. Andre Curbelo, I mean, who has a greater value to his team than he does?
That's true. And that drops in to make it a 30-point game. Rollins Kibonge off the back iron. Loose ball foul will likely go against Bergstrom. And it will.
Tough call on Bergstrom. You get caught with these undersized guys, you know you have to block out, you need to put your body there, and he really didn't step back too often into the leaping Cook, but referee thought that he might have stepped back a little too much and created a dangerous scenario.
And Robinson has it. Now into Trey Anderson, who's into the game for the first time. He's wearing number 2. Cook off the dribble. That's short. 2 players going for the same rebound. Bergstrom. It's Robinson off in the air, and a nice spin move from Klawczek to the goal.
Klawczek brings a different type of big or a different type of skill set to this game that's so different than Triore, different than Zedkey, and that makes it difficult to guard. You get used to one way, and then you have Klawczek making spin moves and tough finishes.
Robinson, that will drop. And he'll shoot a free throw. Just fighting his way to the rim, drawing the foul on Traore.
Effort per point. No one higher than Cameron Robinson. You can see the work that he puts in to get each opportunity.
4 fouls on Traore as he comes out. And Robinson, who now has 14 points. That's around and out. Key has the rebound and pushes ahead for Paul Jordan, and coming through is Klawczek. Jordan partially blocked Keyshawn Hall's shot. Klawczek running the floor right around Robinson, and one.
Swooping layup one time, spinning left-handed finish, then a Euro step and on the break, Klawczek. You can see what he has in that game. Tough to guard.
And for Cameron Robinson, that's his 4th foul. He's gonna have to come to the bench. That crowd is starting to fill up here inside the Iolani Gymnasium. Free throw around and out, and we've got a foul. That's on Jordan. This is shaping up to look like it is going to be a packed house for the finale, and we would have expected nothing less. Adams off the dribble. He'll get it back and fire. Curbelo another rebound. I would love to see some of those other statistics with him. Rebounds, he's got quite a few. Assists, he's got a couple. Curbelo, the floater, is good.
Oh, the tricks in that bag. So many.
50 seconds to go in the quarter. Curbelo overplayed, and Hall misses well short. Curbelo the lob. Klacek could not bring it down. 2-on-1 the other way, and an easy put in for Rollins Kibonge. And John Buck saying let's work for one shot.
That would have brought the house down. We're so used to seeing dunks, but great passes. It's almost lost, or the appreciation of it.
Key. Out for Jordan, tough jumper, no good. Loose ball, Jordan trying to control it, does get it back, and a foul with 2.2 remaining in the quarter. And that is going to be the third on Rollins Kibonge. So Paul Jordan, one of 4 juniors on this Long Island Lutheran team. Don't see him a lot, but his first foul shot is in. 65-30 in favor of Long Island Lutheran.
This team's still pretty young. Next year, the loss of Curbelo and Key obviously will make a major difference, but Klacek still returning. Pinzone, Traore.
Washington, no. We'll talk more about Long Island Lutheran going forward when we come back. The fourth quarter is coming up. It's a 36-point Long Island Lutheran lead. It's the 2019 Iolani Classic on BallerTV. About ready to start the fourth quarter. It's 66-30. Long Island Lutheran leading the Jefferson Democrats out of Portland, Oregon. The championship game coming up. Expected tip at 8 o'clock tonight between Wasatch Academy and Oak Hill. Democrats starting the fourth quarter. Guess who? Curbelo the takeaway. And the two-hand flush. And what do we have? A delay of game warning going against Long Island Lutheran.
Not something that bothers them there. But what can't Curbelo do? What can't he do? Great vision, incredible ball handler, finisher, and can get up and do that.
Kick out for Rollins Kibonge. And we get a foul that's going to go against Jaden Reed. Pat Strickland bringing the Jefferson Democrats down for their second appearance here in the 2019 Iolani Classic. Someone who played 2 years of varsity football at Wilson School there in the Northwest. Also played basketball. He was a defensive back. And then played quarterback in his senior year. that has played, he played community college ball in basketball post-high school. That no good for Zed Key. For Chemeketa Community College, at one point they were 33-0 with him on the team. Then graduated from Oregon State University in 1993. And we'll get a foul.
Jefferson recognizing the size advantage over 5'9" Jaden Reed and attempting to exploit that. Jaden Reed does a nice job in there fighting, but sometimes that size advantage is just a bit too much, and he draws some fouls.
You know, we don't get to highlight the coaches enough, and kind of why I wanted to mention Strickland a little bit. He's been coaching Jefferson since 2009. He's got 4 5A state championships. Coach of the year for a few years. Got a nice resume to his name.
Jefferson making a return visit to the Iolani Classic. They were here with Kamaka Hepa, now at Texas.
Nice bounce pass, Curbelo couldn't handle it. And force the issue again, there's Key. 3 ball in the corner for Jordan, not close, and the rebound to Rollins Kibonge. If you're Coach Strickland, you want to see a stronger finish here. Cook is hit by Key. And free throws for the freshman Cook.
As great as the Long Island Lutheran offense has been, a lot of flashy finishes, some great passing, Curbelo doing a little bit of everything on that end. It's their defense that's really caused them to open up this lead. How many great opportunities do you remember Jefferson getting? Long Island has stayed in front of them. Every finish has been contested. Every three has had a hand up. The points that they have gotten, they've worked hard for. We talked about that with Cameron Robinson. They've been bumping and banging and scrapping, and he looks exhausted when he gets to the free throw line just after one possession. But Long Island Lutheran has done a great job of making Jefferson work for everything they've gotten thus far, and that's only been 34 points.
Bergstrom off the pick. Key will try a 3. And a rebound to Rollins Kibonge. And it's funny you mentioned that because last night it felt like we were kind of saying that to a certain degree about Long Island Lutheran, watching toward the very end of that game. Curbelo just exhausted, and I think even admitting that toward the end of the game as he stayed out there and poured everything he had onto the court.
Yeah, these guys, Jefferson doesn't lack for talent. They don't lack for skill. So, really a credit to this Long Island Lutheran defense.
Pin zone. And another rebound for Rollins Kibonge. Dish inside for Cook. Fouled by Klawczek. That draws a frustrated groan from the Long Island bench.
Curbelo, one of the guys, obviously, that, as I said before, I'll be following his career. I want to see where he goes. But Mookie Cook is another one, just a freshman. We noted that before, but such a versatile player. You can see his range. You can see his stroke right there on the free throw line. But he has a bright, bright future. I really want to see where he ends up and how he develops over these next 4 years.
You saw John Buck there a second ago. He's going to have quite a bit to think about. We were talking about before we ended the third quarter. Bergstrom graduates. This is Jalen Celestine, who committed last month to Cal. We haven't seen him. Curbelo's a senior. Zed Key is a senior. But there's a good group of guys that he'll have back next year, and I'm sure no shortage of talent that will be joining the program as well. As Key is challenged by Cook, but Klawczek with the finish, and Klawczek and Rollins Kibonge tangled. And Tom Yoshida steps in and says, "Hey guys, let's just play ball."
Got a little tangled up there, and these battles have been going on all night. But you look at their demeanor; they're not trying to start anything. They're walking away. It's maybe a little bit of frustration, just mixed with so much contact and physicality. But no harm, no foul. Referees did a nice job of stopping it, cleaning it up, breaking it apart, and just moving on.
And both gave a high five to each other afterward. You got to like that. Robinson, whoa, Key hitting the deck with authority, yet he's the one called for the foul. Looking to his bench, it's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Key's got 4 now.
9 times out of 10, that foul goes on Robinson. Key does a great job of selling it, hits the floor hard. But Tom Yoshida, veteran referee.
And I love this. I love this. I don't know if our cameras caught it, but Tom Yoshida was explaining his call on Key to Curbelo, the captain. And then as soon as that call was explained, Curbelo was relaying that using his arms to Key, saying this is what you got to do. You got to keep your arms straight, keep your body positioned.
Yeah, having an impact. 70-37 game, and he's still helping his big try and figure out how you guard somebody that productive. He said, hey, you know what? You got under him too much? Fix it. Let's move on. Let's be better. We have a long season ahead.
A lot of people don't know about Tom Yoshida, by the way. I think we know here, but across the country, Tom Yoshida is not one of the best here as far as his work as a referee. He is one of the best stats people I think any of us know. He does work for television, for both college and high school games, basketball and football. Key will head to the free throw line to try to complete the three-point play, but such a numbers guy, and such a good guy too. Good to see him getting to work the Iolani Classic, and also his demeanor working with the young student athletes is always fun to watch.
Yeah, spoke to him just a little while ago, and we said, hey, we're glad to have you out here at the Classic. We mentioned it earlier. This is a mixing of 2 league officials. Generally, and in most cases, they don't work together. They stay with their leagues and they stay separated, except for the state tournament. But this is a first year for the Iolani Classic, and I think it's turned out great to have both leagues working together.
For those that don't know, on the island of Oahu, you have 2 leagues, the Oahu Interscholastic Association and the Interscholastic League of Honolulu. The ILH is a private school league, the OIA a public school league, as the foul goes against Trey Anderson. And of course, news on that this week with the OIA announcing it's going to file papers to try to separate from the Department of Education. But regardless of that, the referees serve those individual leagues. And you're right, the only other time we see it is in the state tournament, and you see some of the top in each league working with one another. Many of them have college experience working the Division II level, both with the men and the women, and it only makes the quality of the game better when they get to work here with some of the top players in high school basketball.
Yeah, these 2 crews that you'll see in this 3rd place game and then a little later on in the championship, these are among the best referees we have here in Hawaii, and it's great to have them on this game. I know it's not college basketball, but it has a real college basketball feel.
Extra pass in the corner for Washington. It just has not dropped most of this game for Jefferson from the outside. 3:43 to go, and a 37-point lead for Long Island Lutheran. Reed, dangerous pass, and it's cut off by Washington. And we'll see a timeout taken by Pat Strickland of Jefferson.
Yeah, one of the few easy, simple opportunities. And even when they finish that, it almost feels like a relief for Jefferson. And they've worked all night. Long Island Lutheran, stingy on defense, just staying in front, contest everything, make them shoot over you, make it as difficult and disruptive as you possibly can. It wasn't a game of steals and runouts, and it was missed shots, it was forced misses, it was forced long opportunities, stay in front. Sometimes they fouled, but again, even if they fouled, even if they scored, they worked for it, and that wears on a team. It makes these guys more and more tired, and when you're tired, the legs go, and it's more difficult to hit shots.
So one of the youth teams here, that's the H1 Thunder, coached by prep writer Paul Honda. I think he might have had practice earlier today. Brought the kids down to the Iolani Classic. Good experience. We see a lot of the high school teams and coaches hanging around, but for those young kids, getting to watch guys they could maybe aspire to be like, as they get older and get more experience playing the game. Clawcheck struggling to hang on with it. And they'll get it out for Ryan Dunn. Now Clawcheck. Or check that, I beg your pardon. Traore for 3. It's no good. And Rollins Kibonge comes back the other way.
Yeah, completely underrated part of learning the game of basketball is watching it. Not enough kids are sitting down and watching basketball with their coaches or with their parents and being explained the nuances of the game. And that's how you raise your basketball IQ. You hear a lot about that, but that is as important as some of the skills that these guys are spending so much time developing. They should spend a lot of time also watching the game.
Washington takes that away. And a foul going against Ryan Dunn. So 2:33 to go. Long Island Lutheran closing in on a third-place finish here at the 2019 Iolani Classic. We've kind of given the outlook a little bit on the Crusaders for Jefferson. Yeah, it'll end up being a classic that ends up with a loss in the third-place game, but certainly they've got talent. You've got a lot of guys who are two-sport standouts who also play football. Guys like Trey John Williams, Nate Rollins Kibonge, for example. So you've got guys who are very versatile and have an opportunity to really kind of continue to build their strength. And sometimes it can be hard when you come from football. The season ended not that long ago. You're getting into basketball shape now. They're going to mold over the course of the year. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, multi-sport athletes. A lot of talk about that now. It's a hot topic. And
Dunn misses the 3. You've worked with a few.
Oh, a lot. I mean, Iolani School is not a big school, so there needs to be a lot of sharing of athletes and athleticism.
Cook gets the crowd oohing over those big steps to the rim.
I mean, a guy like Cook, I mean, we have volleyball coach Mike Among, and he was on the last telecast. Who wouldn't love to see Cook on the volleyball court?
He says me.
Rollins Kibonge, obviously that build leads to thoughts of him being successful in football. But yeah, I mean, why am I an advocate of multi-sport participation? Because these guys are put in different situations. They're learning to be effective in different scenarios with different coaches. But I mean, it all contributes to their understanding of sports, their ability to perform, their toughness. And then it breaks up what it is that you're doing. When you're concentrating so much on one sport, it's hard to stay that locked in and that focused. So sometimes when you move away from it and you come back to it, maybe the hunger's there a little bit more. And you've seen so many guys in the NBA and the NFL, major leagues, multi-sport players, and those are some of the top athletes in the world, top performers in their sports.
Cook showcasing his wares here in the final couple minutes. The exciting 2 earlier, then the 3 here on the right angle, 77-46. The freshman Jaden Reed. A.K. Abu Saad in for the first time. Nice dish for Traore, who is blocked right at the goal by Jason Davis Jr. Off the dribble. And out of bounds off the Adams miss.
Abu Saad doing a little Curbelo impression. I'm sure he sees that a lot in practice. And that's contagious. When you see someone with vision, you want to emulate it. You want to do the same. You want to try and find somebody in the same way.
The flattery of the trying to do what one of your teammates does. Traore strong to the goal. Under a minute to go. No good for Cook. Driving to the rim. Foul. Jordan was trying to stuff it home.
Paul Jordan. Didn't see that coming at all. Tacked the rack hard, rose right up there and tried to put one down. Get him on the poster.
You can see Curbelo, the biggest cheerleader on the bench, seeing Jordan rise up.
A lot of this crowd sleeping a little bit through the end part of this game, you know. Significant lead, 33 points, and Jordan woke him right up.
That hits 80. The most they have scored in any game here in the Classic. Cook.
Again, that potential. Freshman, 6'7", and maybe even still growing. You can see that repertoire he has, able to hit from long range, but go to the basket, and I think he's going to be a special one.
He will. Traore will try for three. And Anderson bringing up final 4 seconds. Davis. And that's going to be it. Third place to Long Island Lutheran. 80-49, breezing past the Jefferson Democrats here in the second to last matchup of the 2019 Iolani Classic.